Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a disassembly maintenance video for you on this little guy. This is the Summit Knife Co. Half Dome. That's right, that's the trick. So let's go ahead and take her apart here. Weird little piece. One thing I will note is that I have already used a sharpening stone, well, a dulling stone, I suppose, to dull off those areas because they were dangerously sharp from the factory. Oh, Italy. Oh, Italy. This guy was made by, is there a logo on this? Yeah, by Pocketknives. You can see there in the corner there. Interesting piece. Very, very strange knife. But let's go ahead and take it apart and see what the inside of it looks like. Hoping I can get this guy smoothed out. By the way, centering is right about on there. So that's not a complaint when we're getting started here. Go ahead and put this here. Pop this loose here. Beautiful. Come here. What are you? You T8? T10? T8, I guess. Maybe T9? No, T8. Okay, that's not turning. That's turning. All right, so anytime that you have something that is just not turning, do not try and force it, because very often what you will end up doing is stripping that out. I bet that this is not a free spinning pivot, and as a result, had I continued to do that, it just would have hurt the knife in general. Or maybe it's just really, really Loctited shut and something was weird on that side. I don't know. Either way, my next goal here is to pop this scale off, and holy crap is that on there with a lot of thread locker. I think we're going to be able to do a lot of good here today. Let's go ahead and continue trying. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this little swatch of fabric here, and then this is the RB Tools Enigma Pocket Probe. I'm going to use this to try and loosen that scale a little bit, kind of pop it up a little bit off of the pivot. Might help. Can't hurt. And I'm just kind of moving it back and forth here with hopes that that's going to slowly lift that off. But I'm starting to wonder whether it will. Okay. Next option. No, that's not thin enough. Wonder if I can get in here with this. Can I pop this pivot out itself? No. Well, that's not good. How the heck am I getting this guy loose? Can I turn this now? I can. Is it screwed in on both sides? Are they doing like a Spyderco thing? Oh, so it was just framed. Oh, that was not great. A little bit of a scratch in the titanium there. Oops. Ah, damn it. Holy crap, look at the amount of thread locker here. That's insane. Oh, man. All right, let's try and pop this loose now. Wow, this is... I bet the action on this is going to be way better once I do this, once I pop this out. Because, man, that's stuck on there with thread locker. Whoever assembled this guy did it no favors. Zero favors at all. There we go. That's popped loose. Now, let's take this apart and see what we got here. God, that's almost like welded in place with thread locker. That's intense. Yeah. Whoa. Why are there 4 washers here? Or 3 washers? This makes even less sense. Which side has multiple washers? Is there an extra... This is an extra thin washer. One of these washers is thinner than the other one. Oh, no. Is this 2 washers together? Or did they stack 2 washers on one side and 1 washer on the other that's thicker? Because this washer is thicker than the other 2. I wish I had a micrometer here to actually measure this up, but okay. Let's go ahead and try and see what we end up with. The reason I am a little bit dismayed here is because this means shenanigans are afoot. I don't mean that in the sense that, you know, they've screwed it up or anything like that. I mean, maybe it's fine, but anytime that you see a situation like this... Sorry about that. Got a phone call there, and that is the downside to filming with your cellular phone. But anyways, I don't know exactly where it cut off there, but yeah, the concern is always that maybe they ran out of the right thickness washers, so they used 2 of them to make up for it or something. That's probably That looks about right. Or maybe it's slightly off-center, so they fixed it using multiple washes. Either way, it's a level of complexity I'm not necessarily super feeling. The other thing I should do, just to make sure, is a quick search of my workspace to make sure that there is not a spare washer. The fact that the washers are not of even thickness means that this is not a likely outcome. Yeah, no, there's nothing here. It's just a weird washer size. All right. Anyways, let's go ahead and put this back, or let's go ahead and clean this blade off here. I don't know. This is one of those weird things, though, that's like, does this matter? The fact... Look at that freaking lock face. Yowza. Does this matter? Does any of this actually matter? Does it matter if the factory is using, multiples of washers when they run out of the right size, or whatever ended up happening here? I don't actually know. I mean, in practice, is it the thing I like to see? No, not remotely, but is it a thing that happens? Yep. And so, it's always a question of how exactly I deal with this in the review, whether I treat it as something important or not, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's a thing, so, yeah. I think we are ready to go back together here. Let's hope. I'm going to go ahead and, well, what the heck, I'll start off by reinstalling the pivot screw on the other side. Go ahead and clean off the pivot screw here. Try and remove a little bit of that thread locker. Because, holy crap, guys. Really? Really, in Fox? Really? All right. Let's go ahead. It's easy to stereotype as a knife reviewer. I mean, and this can very often happen based on company of factory of origin and things like that, Italy in general. There are things where it's like, I bet this knife is Italian. I bet this knife is Chinese. I bet this knife is Japanese. It's hard to say whether I'm accurate or not because, well, I know the answer generally. But still, there are definitely times where it feels like there are just, endemic traits to knives from certain places, from certain companies, from certain people. Italy sometimes feels like it's got a lot of these sorts of issues, but then again, that could just be entirely my series of experiences with a couple of companies here. I mean, Viper, Fox, Lion Steel, etc. Each of them have their pros and their cons. And ultimately, they can all change on a dime. It could be a new factory manager takes over and everything changes. Who knows? It's hard to say. Oh, go ahead and lubricate the den ball path here. There we go. Let's go ahead. And by the way, I'm using knife pivot lube here because this is a washer-based knife. And as a result, I want that, knife pivot lube seems to work a little bit better on knives with washers than with bearings. Well, actually, that's not true. It works better on knives with washers than the nano oil equivalent does. Going ahead, and I dropped 2 washers on that side, 1 on this side. Put this bad boy back together. And we will see just whether that results in a centered action or not. This side, as I recall, has huge amounts of thread locker on it, so let's go ahead and try and remove some of that, because, oh my god, people, really? Really? Let's go ahead and put that through. Just going to hand tighten, well, obviously I'm just going to hand tighten this, but I'm just going to kind of loosely tighten this pivot at the moment. Loosely tighten is a weird word, by the way. Why does that work? Why do you understand me right now? Why does any of this work? It's all freaking magic. All right, back at the ranch. So yeah, it's always interesting, though, to take a look at a new knife from a new maker, or a maker that you've seen before but haven't for a while. See what they end up doing. It's so hard as a knife consumer these days. So many people are doing so many things, and it's just, you can't take everything apart, and especially in knives where you can't handle everything before you buy it. That's tough. Okay, so right now it is way too loose. There is considerable blade play. So let's go ahead and tighten this up a little bit here. And I don't even know which side I'm tightening because, oh boy, that's not great. Right now, oh, actually that's better. That's way too tight, though. Is there blade play? There is not blade play. All right, now the question becomes, can I loosen this a little bit, giving me a good action, while still maintaining some semblance of centering? Because that seems to be about where it was, with no blade play. That's still really tight. Oof. Let's try and loosen this a little bit more here. Centering is starting to go a little bit. Still pretty tight. I am thinking, let me try and loosen this a little bit more here. Do we have blade play? No play. Centering is actually back in position. So since I'm adjusting both sides here, that's okay. Action is not amazing, but who knows whether it will or will not get there. No play. Smooth enough, right? No, never mind. Loosen further. One of these sides, though, actually loosening isn't doing much because the pivot is sort of like fixed into place by a whole bunch of mess of thread locker. Let's loosen a little bit further. Actually, let's loosen this. Well, let's see if loosening this side does anything for us. A little less bound up there. Let's see here, there we go. Need a little wrist to flick this guy out. Unfortunately, it's not a super strong detent, but that worked. Action-wise, we're about where we started. Let's see if I can loosen it a little further and get a little bit better. A little smoother. No play. Centering's okay. A little further. Right on the edge of play. Centering's okay. It's not bad. Actually, the action on this guy is now, that's better. Yeah, that's a little better than when we started. Good. And there is still, actually, just the slightest tiny bit of play. Oh, looks like tightening or tightening that side didn't do a damn thing for us. Let's tighten this one instead. No play. Where are we at here? Yeah. Smoothish. Certainly not like, sliding. Ow. Thing's too damn sharp on the inside there. All right, whatever. I think we're about as good as we're going to get here. So, there you go. Hope this has been interesting to you and that you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.